Everyone were all looking at her 9.5-pound Doberman like he was a ticking time bomb with her newborn. But the moment they opened the door, the giant dog did something that made her burst into tears. Every day of her pregnancy, she heard the same thing. Get rid of him. He is dangerous. You are putting your unborn child at risk. The people saying it were not strangers with bad intentions. They were family, neighbors, and they were all looking at her 95-pound Doberman dog. But she kept him.
Ren, is your puppy a big baby? Oh yes, he's such a big baby.
But the doubt was real, and it stayed with her all the way to the day they brought the baby home. The drive from the hospital was quiet. She and her husband had talked through every scenario, read every warning, and landed somewhere between cautious and terrified. When they pulled into the driveway, she opened the front door slowly. Dom trotted over from the other room. He did not bark. He did not jump. He lowered his large head and moved toward the car seat. He sniffed the air around the baby without touching her, working through the new scent carefully and thoroughly. Then he let out a single soft whine and rested the tip of his cold nose against the infant's tiny foot. He held that position for a moment, then stepped back and looked up. She burst into tears. Not from fear, from the sudden, complete release of it. He was not looking at a threat. From that first evening, Dom reorganized his life around Ren. When she cried, he would move through the house, looking for her mother. He began sleeping beneath the crib each night, his large body curled into a shape. He handled the baby with a gentleness he did not extend to anyone else in the household. He seemed to understand that she was fragile and that his job was to account for that. As Ren grew and began to move through the world on her own, Dom's role evolved with her. He positioned himself at the stairs when she crawled too close, using his body as a barrier without making a sound. At the park, if someone unfamiliar moved in too quickly, he would simply stand between them and the stroller, watchful and still, communicating a boundary without aggression. He was protective in the way that comes from genuine attachment, not training. Then came the night. At 3 a.m, Dom barked. Not his usual alert, a sound that pulled both parents out of sleep. Ren was silent in her crib. A piece of blanket had covered her airway. They reached the hospital in time. The doctor told them that 5 more minutes would have changed the outcome entirely. When they returned home, her husband, who had been the most worried throughout the pregnancy, sat down on the floor beside Dom and held him for a long time without saying anything. There was nothing adequate to say. If they had listened to every voice that told them to give him away, their daughter would not be there. Ren is 3 now. Dom is older, a little grayer at the muzzle, still close. They move through their days together in the easy way of two beings who have been each other's constants since the very beginning. She reaches for him first thing in the morning. He finds her last thing at night. The people who called him a ticking time bomb were measuring a soul by its size and its breed and coming up with the wrong answer entirely. Rescuing an animal changes their world, but looking at this journey, I often wonder who truly rescued whom. What are your thoughts on this? Let's share a moment in the comments.